I'll come back. 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 I'll come back.
Yeah, it's my job.
Yeah, I know.
I do have videos also uploading in the background, so hopefully that's not a big deal. Ah, okay, I see us online now. Let's kick this pig. 5, 4, 3, 2. Cut the video here. Hello and welcome to the Barcast, where the bar gets lower every single week. Your bartenders for this evening are a non-pencil,
Do not drink the fireball slushy.
Flammenwerfer,
I'm gonna chug the fireball slushy.
Milk,
It's too late. I've made mistakes.
Ravage,
I want the fireball slushy.
and I am the Fireball Slushy. This week we have a very special guest. Um, they were hip hopping around all over film fiction, and they did not miss our eye. We politely asked them to join us, and now we have the lovely Krickis with us. Krickis, thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. Now, for those who are tuning in for the very first time, hello and welcome. We are an R rated podcast that selects members from the community. You guys politely ask them, we politely ask them on. Then you ask them questions, and we make them miserable for 2 hours. For previous episodes, such as interviewing John Delancey, Andrea Libman, Dusty Cat, and many more from the MLP fandom, be sure to check us out on places like iTunes, Google Play, and other places where you can digest your podcast related material. We are also streaming live on Twitch right now, which means that the lovely non-pencil is watching our chat. Pencil, what are questions we don't ask our guest?
Hey guys, I know some of you may be new because you may be migrating over from Krickis' fandom on the site, so keep this in mind. We ask that you don't ask really personal questions like, social security number, where she works, etc. We ask that you don't just abuse our guest. We ask that you don't get political or dramatic. Don't be a dick. If you are a dick, I will ban you, so please be polite. However, you can ask questions, and we'll get to them as we're able. You can either ask questions in the chat, or you can ask questions in the thread itself, which I will post a little link to now. We also have a fun thing we do with our chatters. It's a drinking word. Priest, what's the drinking word and how's it work?
The drinking word is fuck. So whenever you hear us say fuck, please take a responsible amount of alcohol into your body. Please drink responsibly. We really don't want someone to fucking go to the hospital again. It was fucking bad. Please don't fucking do that again.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate how you gave the word 2 syllables? Fuck.
Fuck.
I love it. I
Putting
love you.
putting a W in there too somehow.
Yeah. New
Ooh,
Yorker style.
fuck.
Fuck.
Ooh. It's time for fuckies.
I'm going on mute.
Okay. All right. Well, without further ado, I think that's everything. So let's jump into some actual interview questions. Krickis, let's give a general introduction for those who may not know you or are encountering this on YouTube after the fact. Who are you and what do you do in the fandom?
I am primarily an author of a queer horse soap opera. Um,
You are in good company then. We have written our own good deal of the horse soap opera, although not all of them are queer.
Some are.
So, how did you get into the MLP fandom?
I think probably like most people, the show was really popular. It was around the end of season 2. Um, and I kept like, what the fuck is this shit? I'm not watching that. And then just kind of like eventually like, okay, fine, I'll see what the big deal is. And so I checked it out, and pretty much right from Fluttershy's first appearance was like, oh, okay. this is this is going to consume my life now.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, it's
I,
it's how a lot of people I think get into the fandom is we start by going, what's this? And then once we start, it's like, nope, this is my crack now. I have to have this. Excuse me.
yep, I need more of my shy waifu. So the next question is, what is your favorite part of the fandom? The online community, the stories, pictures. What ends up keeping you here?
Um, I guess my favorite part of the fandom is probably I guess my favorite part of the fandom is probably the stories. That's what really sucked me in like heavily. But as far as what's keeping me here, I think it's more the people that I've actually met along the way. Something something friendship is magic or some bullshit. Um, yeah, it's just the community behind it all is really amazing, I think.
No, I think that's totally fair. Like, I definitely wouldn't be here without these five other losers.
It's true.
So, with that in mind, if there's one thing that you could say to your followers or fans that continue to support you, what would it be?
Why?
That's fair. That's completely fair. Um, and then last but not least, who is best pony?
Best pony is still Fluttershy. Been
Oh dear.
Fluttershy since episode 1, and it's still Fluttershy.
You, my dear, are one of good taste. You can stay.
So
This is
so
one.
Priest says anyway. Ugh, I don't know.
Well, with that in mind, we have a full list of questions out on our thread. So let's get to it. Nothing to it but to do it. RK Striker JK5 is up first. What is your favorite non-MLP franchise?
Currently, it's Deltarune, Undertale and Deltarune.
Yes!
Interesting. Specifically Deltarune, or is it more Undertale and now you're just sucked in because Deltarune has to do with that?
It was I've been following it since Undertale, but Deltarune sucked me in way harder than Undertale ever did.
Interesting.
I think that's really fair.
Can I ask
Um,
why? I
Um,
don't know anything about Deltarune.
Oh, really?
Deltarune,
Yeah.
well, if you're familiar with Undertale, the characters kind of appear for a little while and then stop being there because you can play it right where you kill them, so they don't actually stick around in a meaningful way. Deltarune, on the other hand, the characters are consistent throughout the story, and it gives a stronger sense of characterization and character growth than Undertale does.
Huh.
I do think
Okay.
that's exceptionally true. As a Deltarune fan, like Deltarune has way more of a narrative presence than
Yeah,
than Undertale. Which don't get me wrong, Undertale is one of my top five favorite games of all time. Like
yeah, absolutely.
It's an Earthbound like about depression. So why wouldn't I like it? Um,
Uh, however, I would make the argument that for those who like multiple endings or multiple ways to play, I think Undertale's better suited for that purpose. Because Deltarune, because it has such a nice tight narrative that goes all the way through, it doesn't give you as much wiggle room on how to custom play your game.
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree with that.
yeah. I mean, it's up in the air with the further episodes whether choices really do matter or not because we get a little bit of conflicting signals,
Yeah, true,
but
true, true,
Yeah.
true.
but it's definitely interesting. So on that note, then, have you done any fan related works for Deltarune or non-MLP franchises?
I have written a novel-length fanfic for Deltarune, yeah.
Wow.
Ooh. So
Nice.
So given that you write for multiple fan bases, because the Deltarune fan base is not small by any means. Maybe a little more tight knit than Pony, but Deltarune is definitely not a small fan base. How do you compare and contrast like the way that you publish stories or the respective fan bases? Do you find one is more supportive than another? Is it easier to get views for another? Like compare and contrast that for me. It's a unique viewpoint.
Yeah, well, for one thing, you don't have FimFiction, which is the best writing site that currently exists.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you have to publish on AO3, which looks like it came out in the 90s and has never updated itself. Um, so there's a lot of things I miss about FimFiction when I'm writing for Deltarune. For example, I wasn't able to plug this podcast because there's no blogging on AO3.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as far as the fandom, though, I kind of found I preferred the Deltarune fandom, and it's not a fault of the pony fandom. It's more that there's higher expectations in the pony fandom because, for whatever reason, My Little Pony attracted some absolutely stellar, amazing authors that are writing books on par with, published works.
Mm-hmm.
And most other fandoms don't really have that. So, like, I think I'm pretty well respected in the pony fandom, but going into the Deltarune fandom, I was expecting to start from pretty much nothing, and I kind of was because I started publishing my story like a month before chapter 2 came out. But then chapter 2 came out, and I got this huge surge because everyone wanted Suzelle stories, and that's what I was writing at the time. And so it exploded in popularity. But one recurring thing was that everyone was just amazed at the quality of the story because they don't have that same level of professional level writing in that fandom all the time.
I see. So then, did you find that? I mean, because you found that need for Suzelle stories, and you filled it right when it was hot. Everyone wanted it. Do you find that your Deltarune stories perform better than Pony, or do you find that just due to the nature that FimFic is a better designed site that Pony still kind of wins out?
I think Pony still wins out. I haven't looked at the view statistics, and I don't know if the two sides calculate them the same way.
Mm-hmm.
But also I've been building a Pony platform since 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Deltarune, I came in it. I did write one charity short story, like in I think 2020. But then I came in it in 2021 with the Pride and Positivity event, um, and started this novel, and pretty much was starting from nothing. So I think, given how quickly I caught on, that particular story caught on, I think I could build a bigger platform on Deltarune, um, if the fandom holds out, which isn't a guarantee. But currently, I do think that between having FimFiction as a better writing platform and just having been at it for a lot longer, I think that Pony is more popular for me.
I think that's fair. Thank you for your feedback. It's all very unique perspectives, and it's interesting to kind of dive and pick your brain a little bit on that. The next question is not even nearly as intense. The major techie asks, potato or potato?
Potato. And also, Techie, I'm a little disappointed at your question. I was expecting something weirder from you.
Mm.
That be careful. That might be taken as a challenge.
Well, Techie
Oh,
is in our chat right now, so Techie, step up your game.
yeah,
You
step it
heard,
up,
you heard,
Techie.
you heard the lady. Come on.
Alex underscore is up next. who says Hori. Okay. Number 1, which letter of the alphabet is most submissive and breedable?
Oh, I don't know how, but I completely missed this question and was not prepared for it. Um, uh, hmm. I'm gonna go with Q, and I don't know why, it just is what's popping into my head. Gotta be
That-
Q.
I mean, it
that's
does
fair.
have a little penis sticking off of it.
Yeah, there
To
you
be fair.
go.
So there you go.
That is fair. I was thinking W because not only is it the middle part of uwu, but if you look from a bird's eye view, it's kind of like spread legs.
But Q has small pee. It is perfect for
For
submissiveness and breedability.
That's fair. I guess it's whatever you're into.
That's
Yeah.
true too. As I said the word small pee, by the way, our viewers just like raised by 3 people. So I'm putting that out there.
Hello and welcome to the Small PP podcast. Number 2. Have you ever done anything surprising with food?
I once ate a tablespoon of salt because my brother dared me to, and then I projectile vomited afterwards.
Oh,
Oh.
This was back in like high school, so stupid teenager. And fun fact about salt, you burn off all your salt taste buds after a little while, and then it's just bitter.
That's sad. As someone who likes salt,
Well, I
I
don't mean
really.
permanently. I mean like while you're trying to swallow a tablespoon of salt.
That's fair.
You can forever, though, taste the bitterness of salt after that.
That's fair. Your taste buds were, if you will, assaulted.
That they were.
Number 3. What is exactly going to happen on 27th of November 2026?
Nothing if you know what's good for you.
I mean, that's fair. I was going to guess Thanksgiving.
Mm.
But that's only for Amerifats.
Yeah,
Number.
don't question the rabbit uprising.
That's true. Yes. It will. Oh, man. I'm trying to figure out a pun with bunnies.
well, I mean, with bunnies, there's always something about like breeding like bunnies or whatnot. So
Yeah.
I'll have to keep my ear open.
he tried. He tried.
Number 4. Have you ever seen a ghost?
No, I've never seen a ghost. I have tried to see a ghost and it didn't work.
That's fair.
I went around to haunted houses and stuff. Not like, haunted houses like put on by people to scare you, but like actual haunted houses. I did a bit of that as a teenager.
I always found that fun personally.
Yeah,
It gives you the
it's
good
cool to
willies.
check out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking for something and I never really saw anything.
Number 5. Have you ever seen an owl?
Um, I never thought I'd sit here and question, have I actually seen an owl? And now here we are. I think I have, question mark.
Hmm. Continued proof that owls might exist, but we don't have exact proof.
Yeah.
We'll never actually know if owls really exist.
Priest, I
Yeah.
have owl vomit in my home right now, like next to me on my dresser.
So
We'll
you say.
never know, Anon.
Yeah, I guess it just could be my own vomit full of like lizard bones and bird skulls. Just saying.
I've seen you eat worse.
Okay.
Number 6. Has anything funny happened in the last 48 hours?
Uh, Nothing until I jumped into this podcast and saw that what was it? The fireball?
That's fair. Milk went and made a fireball slushy and then added gin and Sprite to it.
It tastes really good.
You're a heathen. You
That
are a
that was
heathen.
something. I I'm sorry for those who didn't get to see the video of that.
I think we can share it. Hold on. I don't. Maybe this will work. Maybe it won't. I don't know. Here we go. Boom. Oh, I posted it as milk. That's not problematic. Okay. So,
Good. Good.
um, let's let's move on. Up next, we have Bats, who I believe is a veteran of the cast. Good to see him
Indeed.
here. Um, Number one, what's your favorite thing you've written, and what story are you most proud of?
Um, I think my favorite thing I've written currently is Tension Points, my Deltarune fic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Possibly just because it's the most recent thing I've written. So and because I was getting a little disenchanted with my ongoing pony fanfic series. So it was just something fresh and gave me a break that I wanted. Um, the thing I'm most proud of, though, is I do think on a technical level, Tension Points is probably the best thing I've written just because I came into it with so much experience. But the thing I'm proudest of is probably Looking Glass, which, if anyone's read anything by me, it's probably Looking Glass. Um, and it was kind of like a lightning in a bottle story that I I haven't really set out to capture that same sort of thing again, but I don't know that I ever would anyway. It was it's a Sunset Shimmer origin story, and a lot of people have told me that to them it's just their canon take on Sunset from now on.
Interesting. So, how in your mind do you differentiate something that you're one of your favorite things you've written versus most proud of? Like, how do those delineate in your head?
Well, Tension Points is fine, but it's kind of, in a way, it's by the numbers. It doesn't really. It does everything it does exceptionally well, I think, but it doesn't really take chances, whereas I felt like Looking Glass was something where I mean, I had a it's a prequel to Equestria Girls 1, so it's starring a Sunset who is fairly unlikable for a whole novel. And despite that, I made her extremely sympathetic, and that feels like a bigger accomplishment. So I'm more proud of that particular story, but as far as things I would just reread for enjoyment, it would be Tension Points would be the number one.
Fair enough. Fair enough. What is your favorite video game boss fight?
Uh, I think I'm going to have to say Asriel from Undertale
Mm-hmm.
because any time that I'm sobbing in the middle of a boss fight is a good time. I always say that the the hardest part of fighting Asriel is doing it through the tears.
That's exceptionally fair. I was very emotional during my first playthrough of Undertale. It was such a good game. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Are readers' tears more delicious as a beverage or condiment?
Um, Most people would probably say as a condiment, but that's because those people are little bitches, and you
That's
just
very
gotta
direct.
chug that shit. Beverage, 100%.
Deal. 100% deal. Bats then asks, how'd you get so cute anyway?
Um, I think that speaks more to bats than me, personally.
Oh, does Bats ooh your woo or something?
Bats was my woo.
Got it.
Oh.
Got it. Understood. Well, Bats, you heard it here first. I'm just looking at their icon right now of the disgusted face, and I'm imagining them making cookies right now. Just like, how dare you say this?
And then they ask, "Do you do anything later?" Yeah, yeah.
Uh, not well, no, not later today. I'm open, bats. Hit me up.
Well, there you go. There you
Here
go.
on the
Well,
Barcast, we're actually a dating service. We didn't tell anyone, but secretly we're here to hook up writers with other writers on the site. So if you come on our podcast, we could set you up with someone. And hey, if you're Shakespeare Clee's sister or mom, well, you know how that story is gonna go.
get that priest and pencil seal of approval. High five, pencil.
There you go. There you go.
All right.
A little late. Bats and I are dating.
Aww, you
Well,
adorable.
we're just gonna take credit. Is my point.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yay! We can take credit for it.
How many does that make now, pencil? One?
No, two.
Two?
It's two. We set somebody up. We set somebody up at BabsCon long ago.
That's right. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Moving on.
Yes.
What's the piece in your music collection you're happiest to own, and is it the rarest thing you own too?
Kind of a weird question to think about because happiest to own, like if it had said the favorite thing to own, it actually would have been easier. But happiest to own, I'm I think that it's something it's an album no one ever heard of, and for some context, I for about a year and a half have been collecting obscure music that was never released digitally and digitizing it, mostly on cassettes and vinyl records. Um, and you find some weird artists doing this, and there's one, his name is Bill Hoover, and he's absolutely fantastic, but no one's really heard him. But I got in touch with him, and he sent me some of his old music, including his first album that I'd been accepting that I would never get to hear, which was a cassette only album from like 92 or something like that.
That's
It's called
fucking cool.
Baby Don't Be Messing with Those Arabs in My Head.
What?
He's this
What the
weird,
fuck is
quirky
that?
folk artist, and
Oh,
I
oh.
absolutely adore him. Um, Nonsensical lyrics and all. And so yeah, I think that's my that's the thing that makes me the happiest, just because I never thought I would get to hear it, and I got it directly from him. I don't know that it's the rarest. An argument could be made that it is, because, it's just hard to gauge because there's no supply for it, but there's no demand for it either. Um, the rarest in terms of like at least the most valuable thing I own is a different cassette that I spent $400 to get. It is,
400?
yeah, it is, when they were teenagers, the musician Connor Oberst, who is best known as the frontman of Bright Eyes, and Tim Kasher, who is the frontman of Cursive, went and made an improv cassette. It's called the band was called TRC 112 because they recorded on TRC tape deck, and every song was 1 minute and 12 seconds, and they improvised the whole thing. And it's not very good, but it's very interesting. Just because I'm a huge fan of both of those, of Bright Eyes and Cursive, are two of my absolute favorite bands. And yeah, hearing them dick around as teenagers was very fun. And if you look it up, it exists on the internet because I put it there. So that's also fun.
Oh, well,
Oh,
thank you
that's
for
so
doing
cool.
that. And I know that Priest is our resident musician.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I
and I
Please go on.
was say I know that you don't necessarily collect rare music, but I know that Priest has a understanding of the value of non-digital music and its need to be preserved.
It's true, and what's really interesting is those really kind of like niche things. They're so rarely sought after by people because the most sought after ones are usually the ones with the hits on it, not like the oh I did this little thing. It's not really a big deal. Like the collectability of it, especially to like big Obers fans, is immeasurable. So that's just exceptionally cool.
Yeah, yeah, it was very rewarding. My YouTube channel got taken down though.
No.
So that
Why?
sucked.
Why did
Uh,
that
they
happen?
didn't. YouTube never said. Um, Presumably for someone reported it for copyright infringement.
Hmm.
Um,
Literally
uh,
who? Especially if
as a
this was
golden rule, everything had been out of print. Almost all of it was from the 90s. But I mean, on a technical level, I didn't own the rights to any of the music.
still, who's going to whine about something that isn't available literally anywhere being made public from an artist who probably isn't that bent out of shape about it?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
I
Hey
do
been
not
man,
a
understand.
typical thing with YouTube, though. Like, that's been happening to everyone.
hey
Yeah,
man, you don't know what Connor does or doesn't like.
Ugh.
yeah, I'm hoping to set up my own website for it someday, but ever since the channel got taken down, I've just lost a lot of the drive.
That's fair. That's naturally part of the process. When you hit roadblocks, it saps your will to do it.
Yeah.
All right, up next we got what's the creative work that after watching, reading, playing it, you said, Satan damn it, I wish I had written this.
Um, I'm going to say the anime that I can't actually pronounce the full name of, but Madoka. Um, like Quella Magi Magica or something like that.
Madoka Magica?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That one.
I
Yeah.
had that one on my watch
It's
list for forever.
it's actually my favorite anime, and part of that is because I never could have written it. Um, and that's not actually a dig at my writing skills. I'm not saying I'm not good enough to have written it. I'm just saying it's so far removed from what I do in a way that I respect enormously. Um, I, I consider myself extremely good at slice of life drama stories, but to do something like the Madoka thing would be just I would have to learn that whole skill set of telling that type of story. Um, so yeah, not so much that I wish I wrote Madoka specifically, but I wish that I could write that sort of story. Would be very cool to do.
I think there's a lot of people that agree with you and are in that boat. So many people try to emulate or do what that does. I am somehow lucky that I'm still relatively blind to what Madoka's thing is, but I it's definitely on my list of things to check out because it just gets so much love by the people that respect it.
I couldn't recommend it enough.
And before pencils like it's terrible.
How do I say that? I'm not that mean kind of judgmental person. I mean, I
Next
am,
question.
but it's
Next
fine.
next question. What is the perfect food and why is it pizza?
Because pizza is more than the sum of its parts. Because, I mean, the pizza is roughly four ingredients. You have crust, cheese, sauce, and pepperoni if you're correct. Then
Mhm.
all those things are great on their own, but you put them together and it's just something magical.
I absolutely agree. And even on a bad day, the worst pizza is still pizza.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Now, we got to start asking. Now we're talking pizza. We got to ask you some of the hard questions about pizza. Are you ready?
Yeah, but I won't have interesting answers for you.
Well, I mean, the big question, which everyone has to be asked, is does pineapple belong on pizza?
See, I knew that was coming, and I'm just indifferent to it. I don't actually like it because I can't stand pineapple.
But does it belong there?
I don't have strong opinions on the matter.
Hmm. Trying to be all diplomatic and whatnot, huh? I see how it is. I see how it is.
Well, you're in the wrong crowd for being diplomatic.
What about mayonnaise and peas? Do they belong on pizza?
Oh, what?
Do you I need to get the
I
picture?
should
Fuck did that?
say not,
You need
but
to get the picture.
I have put peanut butter on pizza before.
All right. Well, since I'm ruining everyone's life, mayonnaise and peas is actually not an uncommon uh, topping combo in different countries. I am not lying. Here behind the counter, here's one.
Wow,
And to
that
prove that
soul died a little inside.
it's not just one person being an asshole,
There it is. There's
That
the
is
rest of
so
my soul
weird.
dying.
there you go.
I've lost my soul to this podcast.
So, for people who say like, "Oh, I can put up with all sorts of different things on pizza," like I'm not that kind of picky. Let's pause for a moment and let's really think about our frozen like pea mayonnaise dripping lives. And you tell me if this belongs on pizza.
I mean, we just got the best endorsement ever that someone has lost their soul onto the podcast, and you just want to delve in deeper. Oh man.
I mean, your favorite pizza you were saying is just a pepperoni pizza, like the straightforward, neutral good answer, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Is there another fancy one you like, or are you just stick with what works, man?
Mostly stick with what works. I do like barbecue sauce on pizza.
Like the chicken BBQ pizza that
No,
sometimes
just
exists?
pepperoni with barbecue sauce
Oh,
instead of
interesting.
marinara.
I can see it because I
That's
mean, barbecue goes well with pork, and then usually pepperoni comes from pork.
so maybe you're not like neutral good, maybe you're like chaotic neutral. So I'll rescind that. I'll rescind that.
All right, next question that we got. What game are you looking most forward to streaming?
The original Resident Evil, which is the
Oh
first game that
God.
I'm streaming.
Oh God.
Uh, and it's so horrible. Anyway, I've never actually played through the whole thing. Uh,
Honey. Oh,
I
you've got a big
th-
storm coming.
that's why I'm looking forward to it, because I have seen the opening cutscene, the live action cutscene,
Oh my
and the
God.
opening dialogue from when you first get into the mansion. Um,
Oh, it's so bad. Oh my God.
it's
I'm so
so
happy for you.
horrible. I'm so looking forward to that. That's gonna be exciting.
I am excited for you to get to experience this. Like it is just the worst kind of train wreck, and you don't expect it to be because Resident Evil is such an iconic series, and then it's just bad. Like
Yeah.
Silent Hill is definitely stronger out the gate of like survival horror games, but I think Resident Evil got the last laugh in the end.
Yeah, I agree with
yeah,
that.
it's still chugging, whereas Silent Hill is,
Crying,
Yeah.
crying, in
yeah,
its pachinko machines.
yep, lots of pachinko.
Finally, and most importantly, where does a general keep his armies?
In his sleeveys. I
I
hate
have
that
heard that
fucking
one.
pun. No, that pun is the bane of my existence.
Oh, is it? Why?
Yeah. Um, okay, well, I tend to not really like puns very much to begin with.
J'accuse.
Um, and then that pun for whatever reason stuck out to me because I think because I kept hearing it as not a very like it is actually a good pun because it's fairly clever, but it just like it being a good pun made me hate it more. Um, and then the dark prep got a tricked me into reading a story like out loud on a voice call that had that pun in it. And
Oh,
she
that's a good one.
recorded me saying it, and because I was reading it, I was saying it in a like I was speaking as the character, so I was like all into it and stuff. And she recorded that pun and has passed it around to all my friends, and now no, and I ever it
Now you're
haunts me
just
to this
screwed.
day.
Now you're just screwed. Got it.
Yeah.
That's the sign of true friends is when they will trick you into recording something, saying something you don't like, and then send that recording to all of your friends. That's the true sign of a true friend that will bully you.
We
That's
we
what it
bully
is.
each other. We bully each other all the time. We have done shit like that to each other. I've forced people to read things that I thought they were excited to read, and then all of a sudden I'm making Flam like read incest porn with the cold meister and the heat miser, right?
I'm Mr. Snow.
Yeah, it got bad in a hurry. I knew his soul died when he read out loud like the line, "Don't you love my brother's balls?" What? And I was like,
Like, ah, this is where it's going. I see.
it's always good to show proper love and friendship by just quietly ruining your friend's life for a minute or two.
Sounds about right. Nyla is up next. Hi, Krickis. Congrats. Number one. Do you like head pats?
Of course. What self-respecting rabbit does not like head pats?
Oh, none that I know.
If I hold rabbits, they just try to hurt me or chew through my clothing. So,
That's
I get
fair.
the
They don't
same
actually
problem.
like
They
that.
always try to bite me.
yeah, rabbits don't generally like to be held.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then there's my mom's rabbit who just loves to get head pats, comes up at you, and loves to just be cuddled and shit.
Because
Yeah,
little known fact, most rabbits don't respect themselves. It's sad.
I've never looked at it that way, and I'm really confused as to what all of this implies.
So
Like,
let's not delve deeper into the
like,
subconscious
are
of
you
that.
saying rabbits are whores? Because, like, I mean, like,
It explains the
No,
noise.
it's just like a rabbit. It's the rabbit complex. They're too good, and they can't see it. It's life's biggest tragedy, really.
but you are a rabbit
Yes,
who understands your worth.
yes,
Yes.
indeed.
Okay. So to be clear, rabbits aren't whores.
I mean, some are like they can do them.
It's
And
true.
others and everyone. Yep, that's correct.
Yeah,
Number two. What is your favorite story and how has it inspired you?
that's another one that I had to think a lot about, and what part of the reason why I did read these questions early, um, is I don't know what my favorite story is. Um, I don't think I have a single favorite story. I will say that the story that inspired me the most was Neil Gaiman's Anansi Boys, which is, I think, his strongest story in terms of prose. And Neil Gaiman is my favorite author and my biggest, uh, like, famous inspiration. And Anansi Boys is just a joy to read. His writing is so witty in that story that I wanted to be like that. And I read that before I got back into writing because I wrote a lot as a kid and as a teenager. And then I stopped for a long time in my 20s and got back into it with the pony fandom. And when I got back into it, I was essentially trying to be Neil Gaiman. And I've moved on from that sense, but mostly I was trying to capture the way he wrote Anansi Boys.
Oh my god. Sorry.
What just happened?
That was my ringtone. I'm anyway.
We're just gonna move past that. We're having a serious conversation about Neil Gaiman and how he's actually like a cool ass G. And in the background we hear what and like sparkle noises.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
For a second, I thought that was just how you feel about Neil Gaiman, Priest.
I've never actually read Neil Gaiman. I've
All
not
right.
had the pleasure.
All right, Krickis, it's up to you. You gotta start somebody off on Neil Gaiman. Where do you point them first?
Well, usually my first question for Neil Gaiman is, have you seen any of any of his adaptations, like the movie Coraline or the show Good Omens, or American Gods is also his.
I didn't know that Neil Gaiman did Coraline. So
Yeah.
I at least I saw the movie, which is supposed to be a perfect representation of the
It is
book.
not. It is not. It's not even close. I'm sorry. I'm done.
It actually deviates from the book intentionally in a lot of ways.
Yes, it does.
And I think that the movie is phenomenal. I would not call it a perfect representation just because it's a different medium, and the director knew that it's a different medium and couldn't capture everything in the book. So uh it changes quite a few things.
YB shouldn't
And
exist. YB doesn't exist. YB isn't real. Why is YB in this movie? Holy fuck. Okay, I'm done.
I actually really, really like the movie. I really, really like the book too. The book actually might be my favorite Neil Gaiman book. Um, it's and like I mentioned, Anansi Boys is my favorite in terms of his prose, but the story Coraline just resonates with me better.
And I'm entirely inclined to agree with you.
So I would say if you like Coraline the movie, I would definitely recommend checking out the book just because it isn't gonna be the same thing.
No.
It's fairly different.
And Coraline in the book doesn't need to be rescued by people who don't exist. Coraline is an independent, strong young lady who don't need no man, okay? I
This
have
is true.
strong feelings. I love the movie. I genuinely do. And it does some things perfectly right that I was shocked it did right. But at the same time, holy fuck am I angry about some of the changes. So
Speaking of fuck, the next question is, why are bunnies the cutest thing ever?
what does it have to, no, don't answer that. Never mind.
Well, you see, Nyla, bunnies are the cutest thing ever because we've programmed you to think that. We, you didn't hear this from me, but there is a small chip that's implanted in everyone's brain that just sends bunnies are cute messages. And you might be thinking, I know people who don't think bunnies are cute. Well, we haven't perfected it yet, but it's coming. Once we perfect that, then on the 27th of November, 2026, it's over for everyone.
I mean, you can try. Come at me.
Oh, it all ties back together. It all
Oh
ties
yeah,
back.
yeah.
All right, then the next question is not from Muggany because he forgot to post questions.
Yeah, Muggany.
It's from the Dark Prep, who asks a very important question: do you own any collars?
I own two collars, one of which was from the Dark Prep.
Oh,
Um,
what?
describe them, if you will.
Well, one of them is tie-dye, and it has God, I haven't actually seen it in so many years. It has, I believe it says like something like Crepundia Eris or something like that, which is Latin for plaything of my master.
Ooh.
That was a gift from Archangel's Wings. Um, and from the Dark Prep, I actually don't remember what her collar looks like because I like shoved it in a corner somewhere. Sorry, Prep. It was a joke between us before, early on when we met. She made a joke about getting me a collar, and then she did, and it, it's a long story.
That's how some of the best gifts end up, is like teasingly like, "Oh, I'm going to buy this for you." And then it happens.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think it was pretty similar when Pencil was teasing me for a while that she'd get me a puzzle box. 'Cause I was getting obsessed with like weird puzzle box things. I was like, oh yeah, sure. And then lo and behold, one of the times she came over, she gave me one.
I did.
I still have it. It's on my dresser. All right. Next question is: if someone you cared about recommended an anime to you, how long would it take for you to watch it?
A little bit longer. A little bit longer. And by a little bit, I mean a whole lot longer. I don't know.
Oh no. I sense this is a jab. What anime was it?
Um, it was Violet Evergarden.
I can't say I've heard of
That
that
one
one.
was good. That is a really good anime.
I have to ask. What was the Latin written on the collar again?
All I remember is that it's supposed to translate into Plaything of My Master, and I don't know that it's correct, and I don't know that I'm remembering it correctly,
I thought you
but I
said
believe
Carpundium eris. Is that
something
correct?
something like that, yeah.
That means it's your fault.
No, okay. Yeah, I'm
I mean, that's actually a really fun thing to have on a collar. Is it's all your fault? But I was just surprised. I like Latin, so I was really curious.
Speaking of Latin, what if they provided an episode specifically as a gift to you?
um well, then I would have to say if someone really cared about me, they must know that I refuse to watch things out of order. So say they got me episode 11 on a flash drive, hypothetically speaking, um I would assume that they would know better than to do that. Just, purely hypothetical, of course.
The shade. Oh, the shade. And then the last question from Dark Prep is: why is Trixie the best?
Um, well, I was really interested in Trixie when I was reading this series of stories about her, um, and her relationship with Pinkie Pie. But then out of nowhere, the series kind of stopped. So I don't know if I can say she's the best.
Oh no. That's the worst. What terrible monster would just stop writing a fanfic, possibly even for years. Maybe even go as far as to say, "Oh, I'll get back to it eventually."
You shut your goddamn mouth right now.
I'm
Hey
talking
Rav,
about me.
I'm talking about all you bitches.
I
Hey
know that's what I mean.
Hey
With all
Rav,
of us.
hey
Yeah.
Rav, hey Milk. Can we
Yeah.
just like acknowledge that we are pretty good about not leaving giant long series unfinished for 5 years?
That's
Uh
not
huh.
fair.
I
Milk
have no
doesn't even
comment.
write those.
Thank you, Rav.
All right, all right, all right. Now we're going to Fluttering Lilies for the next set of questions. Number one, what is a ship that you'd really like to write but haven't gotten around to writing it?
Um, Following up on that last comment, actually, Trixie and Pinkie Pie. That was actually written to be part of my universe, and I haven't gotten to writing that particular dynamic myself yet. So I'm very excited to get to that.
What would their relationship dynamic be like? I'm trying to envision the ship in my head.
Well, it's fairly dependent on being part of my universe, at least from Pinkie's point of view, because it's the Equestria Girls version of them, and Pinkie gets to be fairly depressed because all her friends keep leaving throughout the events of the series. Um, and she starts getting a lot of abandonment issues, and Prep had the idea of Trixie, once she's confronted in the Equestria Girls movies of real magic, kind of like also falling into depression of like, well, all I can do is this stage magic. And they bond over a kind of mutual need for companionship, and form this really weird, sad relationship. So I don't know what their relationship would be outside of my universe, where like people aren't depressed and shit,
Hmm.
but that's the appeal of it to me is approaching it from that angle.
No, that I mean, there's a lot of fairness there, where sometimes the raw emotions of depression and loss can bring the most unlikely people together.
Yeah, yeah.
So, all right. How often do you rewrite scenes and chapters?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Almost never actually. I'm not good at editing. I'm not good at rewriting things. I write things and then I'm like, okay, that's good. I have on occasion, especially with my first pony story was Inner Strength, which is a horrible name, but I it also was the first story I wrote for my ongoing Who We Become series, and because it was my first story, or at least first story coming back after not writing for many years, and first story writing seriously as an adult, um, it kind of sucked in some ways. It was really good in some ways. The raw story was pretty good. The actual writing really wasn't. So I've overhauled that significantly. But that was after years of writing other things and learning and coming back to that specifically to make it better. Um, I don't generally rewrite scenes and chapters when I'm actually working on a project, though.
I think that's fair. Typically, when I'm working on a project, if I'm posting it on FimFiction, I'm doing it just for fun. I almost never rewrite it.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. I consider it kind of a weakness of mine because I do want to be a professional writer. I'm just not really good at. I just read things and I go, okay, I wrote it. It's fine.
Oh, it's definitely a difficult road to mosey on down the road of becoming a professional writer, especially um, without a lot of the prior experiences or the connections. It's difficult. It's a lot of blood on the keyboard, so to speak.
Yeah.
Gross. Clean that up, man. Clean up that blood priest.
Um, Speaking of blood, is there anything you've written that made you cry before it made your readers cry?
Ooh.
Probably anything that's made my readers cry has made me cry first. I cry very easily.
And there ain't nothing wrong with that. Speaking as someone who also cries easily.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite musician in the pony fandom?
I don't, because that's one side of the fandom I never really touched on was the music side. So unfortunately, I don't really know a lot of the musicians in the fandom, although I've heard some incredibly good songs. Um, I don't know that I have a specific favorite musician.
That's fair.
I would say my favorite song is from the Pony fandom is Bonnie by Violet Pony. Um, that was the first Pony song that I heard, and I was like, you know what, this is so amazing. I'm just going to go and listen to this album. And not to say that the album was bad, because it was very well written and I thought it was good, but nothing really felt the same to me. It's like most of it is much more poppy, and Bonnie is this kind of like alternative rock meets glam rock style song, and that was just magical to me, and nothing else really hit me. So I couldn't even say Violet Pony is my uh, favorite musician in the fandom.
That's fair. I mean, Violet is a very strong artist in the fandom. Musician, artist. No, the same thing. So, without further ado, I know the next set of questions are from a non-pencil, but I believe we're also halfway through our allotted time.
Here we are, and this is some good timing because we've just had some people donate some bits in the chat. Why do bits matter? Hey, priest.
It's true. Bits do matter.
Hey, priest.
Yes.
This is where we have our back and forth, which is why I said, "Hey, priest."
I know. Hey, what's up, pencil?
Did you know that we support real life horses and they're not in Equestria because they didn't go to the good place when they died, so they ended up here instead?
Hold on. Hold on. I need to unravel this back. Hold on. We've been donating to this place for 6 years and it's not in Equestria.
Nope, it's right here in the United States.
Oh, God. Oh, this is the bad place.
So, what do we do to help these horses, priest?
Well, every little bit matters. We have a horse whose name is Little Bit. So when you donate a little bit of bits, it goes directly to Little Bit in California. Also, the money from Patreon we donate as well, and it allows us to take care of Little Bit's needs, such as getting their hoovesies trimmed, seeing a dentist, um,
Getting fed.
getting fed, getting that sweet hay.
Hookers.
All no, not the hookers.
Cocaine.
Maybe the cocaine.
Okay.
But go on.
How can people give us money?
They can do that by pressing the little diamond in Twitch, and you can hit the little thing, and it'll say "Watch ad," and it'll give you bits, and then you will. After you get bits, you can donate them in the chat, and we read out at the end whoever donates the most.
Becomes real money.
It's true. Alternatively, if you're listening through other means, we have a website, thebarcast.net, where you can find our Patreon and donate there. We have several tiers there, including different Discord perks, including being able to see behind the counter and getting the chance to join us on game nights, which is a lot of.
Aw, who's been crying all over it?
Different type of tears. Different type of tears.
That's true. Different type of tiers. So speaking of tear jerkers, Pencil, is there anything I'm forgetting?
Well, we're almost on the hype train with the bit donations we've had. So if anyone wants to get us all the way to hype train, that'd be really cool. Keep it going, and really just help us support horses. We don't keep any of it for ourselves, and that's why we're bad people. Because if we kept it for ourselves, we could make ourselves happy, but we're not. Because that's how much we love horses.
It's true. I'm not happy.
None of us are happy.
You need therapy.
I have depression. I get therapy. It helps a little. Please reach out if you need help. Fuck you!
About you.
Oh, okay. I'm not happy anymore.
Good, you belong now. We're terrible friends.
Three loves company. Sorry.
So, without further ado, that's our little ad break. Hello, welcome back, everyone. Put the little jingle here. Now the ads are done. Pencil, we have a set of questions next. Would you like to take them?
Sure, as I am the one who wrote them, I will be happy to do so. Krickis.
Howdy.
I have to put on my seductive voice. Hold on, let me have some beer. Fuck. Now. What would you whisper into a vagina?
I think the only sensible thing is to ask for it to tell me its secrets.
What would it whisper back?
Hopefully something cool, I don't know. If I knew that, I wouldn't need to ask.
Probably it's secrets.
I mean, hopefully, you don't know. Maybe it'll tell me to fuck off.
You just tell, like, you ask the vagina, like, what are your secrets? It responds, eggs! And you're like, oh, holy shit, oh god.
Very nice. I will now come.
It is now come time.
Yeah, like I don't know if how I'd feel if like whispered into a vagina, like, "What are your secrets?" and responded back like, "Feed me." I'll be like, I don't know that I want to anymore. Uh, but anyway, just a far more serious, genuine question. Um, we've talked a little bit about some of your stories, and you have a lot of long stories under your belt. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And your first was very popular, which is unusual. A lot of people, their first story doesn't go anywhere, which is really cool. Yeah.
Well, Looking Glass wasn't my first story. It's just the first story in the
Oh,
series.
I was going to mention Looking Glass next. I was going to say your first story that you ever wrote for fiction was actually quite popular as well.
Inner Strength got popular over time for being part of the series. I don't think it was that
Ah,
popular when it actually came out.
probably popular by today's standards with the current state of fiction, but I suppose you're right on that. And
Yeah.
it's worth saying that Looking Glass is easily your most popular if we're just going based on the upvotes and downvotes.
Yeah, Looking Glass was an immediate success that continues to be my most popular.
Yeah. But, let's go the opposite direction with this. Let's make a hard left. Which story that you've written are you the least proud of? And separately from that, which one do you genuinely hate the most or regret?
I I'm probably the least proud of and I don't even dislike this story, but it's one called Flower Crowns and Dinner Dates. And it's just because I was trying to write a really wholesome story, and I'm not a very wholesome writer. It was a it was a birthday present to a friend who also a Pasu who does most of the art for my stories, and I was like, I had it in my head that okay, this is a present. I need to make it wholesome and happy, and write her ship in the way that she'll just enjoy it and not have any drama. And it was the wrong move. Um, and I think it's okay. It's just I don't it 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 was a lesson in what not to do from me specifically.
Can you look back on it with like a good feeling, or when you look back on it, is it just, you know,
I don't mind it. I look back on I haven't read it in many years, but I look back on it and it's a good memory also because it was a gift to Pasu who I've been friends with for many years now. And it was early in our friendship, so it was it's a good memory. To me, it's a better memory than a story.
hmm,
As far as what I hate the most from what I've written, I don't actually hate anything that I've written. Um, I would say By Blood or Choice is very dated, and it was
hmm,
dated before it came, but when it was new, honestly, because it revolves very heavily around Rainbow. It's about Rainbow and Fluttershy as teenagers, and it revolves very heavily around Rainbow using gay as a negative word, um,
hmm.
and Fluttershy feeling put off by it because she is gay and Rainbow doesn't know this. And it's just, if I had written it like 5 years earlier, it might have actually been relevant to that time period. But having written it in 2015, I think people had pretty much stopped using gay as a negative word. Um, so it was weirdly dated even when it was new.
Well, I get what you're saying there, but do you have like no regrets about it?
Uh, Not really. It's fine. It's just, um, it's another one that I did rewrite the whole thing of because I thought it was originally a one shot. It's 5 chapters now. Um, and not because I expanded the story, but just because it was very rushed and it was a long like 15,000 word or something one shot, and now it's like 23,000 words. And I split it up into chapters to pace it a little bit better. Uh, so I regretted it for a while, but after having rewritten it, it's fine. It's just awkward.
I know. I think there's always some when you read back your old work. It's very rare you read it back and go, "Fuck yeah, I was really great. I was talented." More often you read it back and you go, "Oh, I would change so much now."
Yeah,
And I think that's a healthy part of writing in general.
yeah.
By the way, Nyla or Nyala, I'm terrible at pronouncing your name. I'm so sorry. Would like to tell you that you're awesome.
Well, thank you, Nyla. And I
And
do hope it is Nyla, because I've never questioned this until this exact moment.
I feel bad. It's also Kung XL would like you to know that you're awesome too.
Awesome. Thank you.
And now on to my last and probably the most important question I can ask a person. How much bears?
How much you got?
Not a lot of bears, like girl. How much bears do you want? I can find some bears. I can attain more black bears, brown bears, polar bears, grizzlies. I can get you bears. How much bears?
Um, do these bears come pre-trained, or do I have to train them to be part of the bear cavalry?
No, they're bears in the raw. They are blank slate bears for you to
Mm.
mold into any type of bear mafia you want.
I think that I have a high need for bears,
Hmm.
but I can't accept too many at once because, if I'm gonna have to train them myself, we're gonna have to have a slow trickle of bears here.
Okay, slow trickling bears. I think we can do that. I think we can do a slow trickle of bears. We'll set something up. We'll talk, and maybe I can send you like a sample pack of a couple brown bears and like maybe a grizzly if you think you can handle it, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, yeah, that works.
Yeah, those are my questions, priest.
Wonderful. My brain is melted. So without further ado, I would like to hand Jack Burner off to Flam if he would like.
Sure. And Jack Burner duly asks, what Imagine Dragons song would you turn into a songfic?
Ah, um, I wouldn't.
Ooh, that was such a sigh too.
I, I think Imagine Dragons is okay, and they ask this because we go back and forth about Imagine Dragons, and they hate Imagine Dragons, and I don't agree with their hatred. I think the band's okay, but
Ah,
I still wouldn't turn them into a song fic.
I hate
Understood.
I hate to ask, what is a song fic?
Like a fic based on a song.
Gotcha.
It's interesting.
Waking up to ash and dust, I wipe my ass and I slap my nuts.
Now
Oh
that's a
my
fucking song fic right there.
Oh
That has
my
potential.
write it like the Raven, except use those lyrics. I am ready for this.
Whoa.
I would read it, Flam. I'd read it.
I'm waking up. And speaking of waking
Can't
up.
wake up.
Jesus Christ. Oh no.
Rav is up next. So it's time to send all of this off the cliff. Rav, it's all you, buddy.
Okay. So to start, what's the question you wish people would ask you?
All of them. Just I like being the center of attention. Just ask me questions in perpetuity. Anyone ever has a question for me, just fucking ask it.
All right. Well, I got 13 more for you then.
Hell yeah.
Oh dear. Those of us who know Rav, this is concerning.
If you were the protag of Displaced Fic, what would it be about, and who would you be unlucky enough to be?
I'm fortunate enough, I think, given what I gather, to not actually know what a displaced fic is.
Yes, you're a
Okay.
very very lucky soul.
So let's imagine you went to Comic Con dressed as Wonder Woman. Bam, you're in Equestria, but you are Wonder Woman, not just cosplaying. What do that kind of thing? That's
Okay.
displaced.
Um, hmm. Let's see. If I'm unlucky enough to be with someone from the pony side of things, I am going to say Uh, Zephyr Breeze, because he's probably the only character from the show that I absolutely blindly hate.
I don't think
Yes.
that's blindness. I think that you're seeing things perfectly.
That's fair. Yeah,
Zephyr.
everyone
Yeah,
else
no,
from the
Zephyr's
show,
one of those.
I could partner up with anyone else. Even characters who have bad episodes tend to also have good episodes, or at least potential to be good. Um, Zephyr, I mean, it'd turn out to be a whodunit, but the whodunit would just be me.
Yeah, no, I think it would be more than just you. Let's be fair. Be
That's
like a
fair.
massive conspiracy, and nobody knew who was the first one to do it, but you all did it anyways. All right. If you or your SO could be any size at all, such as a lady demi, dami mommy, or a Renamon-esque kaiju, what would your dynamic look like?
Um, I don't know. I think we would probably both be small. We'd be two smalls. We would,
Couple of goblins?
couple of goblins, yeah.
This is going to
Mm.
tell us more, I think, about bats than many people were expecting.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, tell us how big bats would be.
I mean, I'm a rabbit, she's a jackalope. We'd be just a couple of little bun adjacent creatures.
Mm. Gotcha. All right. Have you ever released a foot fetish or porn video, and where can your fans find it?
I I have not, but I mean, if you pay me enough, you know, money's
Again,
money.
Oh, there's an incentive there.
you heard
You
it
better.
here first. You know what to do.
It's time to start an OnlyFans. Do you read or write snuffles, i.e., gore clop for cute ponies?
I don't actively. I found a comic of what was, oh, the fluffy ponies. I don't remember what they were called. It
Oh,
might have just
That's what
been
they're called.
they were called fluffy
I
ponies.
haven't thought about fluffy ponies in
That's
literal years.
that's a core
Yeah,
memory that I didn't want back.
I did read that comic just out of oh, what the fuck is this? And
It's been so
yeah,
long.
that's the closest I got for you.
fucking
Hmm.
hated fluffy ponies.
I fucking love fluffy ponies.
That explains
Somebody's
it.
gonna have to send me a link to this because I have not been able to find it.
Oh, that's
It's
okay. There's a whole site. Let me go get it.
oh
All right,
no, oh
something for later,
no.
and then
Hold
I'll
on.
torment the rest of you with it.
Hold
Please
on.
don't.
Hold on. Let me get it. Let me get it. Let me see if I can still find it. Let me see if I can still
Oh
find it.
God.
I know there's still like a bunch of fluffy pony relics on Derpy Burrow to this day.
Oh, really?
I think it might have been called literally Fluffy Burrow. I should look at that.
No, this is
All right.
not Flufflepuff chat. So
This is not Flufflepuff, any case.
Here's your history lesson with Priest. Everyone gather around, sit crisscross applesauce sauce, and let's talk about the old days when, part of what made people like picking on bronies is that they were easy to be like, oh, here are these cute things that we like. What if we fucked them up? So
Oh, I found it! I found it! I found it!
the whole idea around fluffy ponies is that they took like the fluffy cuteness of these ponies and took it 100% to the 100th degree. So it'd be like, oh, what's Fluffy Pony doing today? Fluffy Pony, you shouldn't be so close to the bomb. And it's just gore. It is just gore.
You
And then
are being gentle with this, Priest. It's usually humans torturing the
Yeah,
pony.
there's like some fucking sociopathic shit in some of these. It's just like,
and,
why would
and there's
anyone want to create this?
there's the torture. There's sometimes the ponies piss and shit themselves. Like
Always, often.
it's it's bad. You
If you've
don't.
heard in the pony fandom the mention of special huggies, said just like that, "Congratulations, you've heard a relic of the fluffy fandom. Special huggies is what they called forced breeding of the fluffy ponies that their owners would do." And they all
I
talk in uwu. All of them talk in uwu.
I've
Yeah,
lost my
I've
will.
noticed that so far.
Yeah,
we
I,
did this.
I, I forgot about most of this, and now I regret bringing it up.
I'm so happy you brought it up. I haven't thought about this in so long. And the hard thing is, like, fluffy pony stuff is still being created. Like, low key, this is still a thing, and no one talks about it, and no one acknowledges it. It's just happening. And there are characters, there are OCs that are rather famous in the fluffy fandom. Like, it's bad, you guys. It's all just bad things. I don't know what to tell you.
I
Well, of the images that are actually coming up and the ones that aren't just completely blocked, yeah, it's pretty weird.
I don't like any of what I'm seeing right now. Like like within the last hours, like there have been over 20 posts. I can't look at this. I genuinely can't handle this. Rav, please
Hmm.
continue.
All right. Well, on to a better one. Favorite MILF?
That's
Oh, really?
yeah, yeah.
Do I need elaboration or just bats?
I mean, I
Bats is a MILF.
yeah, I don't know how to elaborate on that further. It's just a fact.
Ah, okay. How about favorite princess from MLP?
Um, I'm gonna say Luna.
Ooh, good choice.
Well, all right.
I mean, there's no need to reason about it. It's just Luna is best. We'll move on from there.
Yeah, yeah.
Favorite favorite object pony. So soda pone, pizza pone, thing pone, and so on.
Thing Pone. I'm a big fan of body horror, and
Oh,
Oh,
Thing
nice.
that's
Pone
so
is great.
nice. Oh, it's so rare we get somebody who immediately knows who Thingpone is.
Right? Or even what object ponies are.
Yeah. As far as how did you come across Thingpone in the first place? I'm curious.
Tracking the body horror tag on Derby Buru.
Ah, that
Mm,
actually would do it.
Yeah.
all right. Well, this next question is kind of half topical. Since bats are the superior pony, how many Anons must we suck dry?
Um, if you mean Anons, like the green guy with the question mark, all of them, just wipe them off the face of the fucking planet.
Oh,
No, you.
tell me how you really feel.
Listen, if you didn't want to hear how I really felt, you invited the wrong bitch to this channel.
That's absolutely fair. We did 100% set ourselves up for this shit. We're happy to have you.
Of course, you brought up fluffy ponies. We're very happy you came here.
All right. Well, while we're continuing on this shit train, why is Spike the worst and everyone that likes him wrong?
I like Spike. I don't get the Spike hate. I
Then
I
you are
don't
wrong.
I don't like every episode he's in. I don't think he's always written well. And I don't think any character in this show is always written well. But I
You're
generally
not
like
wrong
him.
with that.
And can we at least agree that he shouldn't sing?
Ever.
I liked his songs. Not the
Even the equestrian
not
national
the
anthem or whatever?
Equestria song. No,
Oh
no, not the
god,
Cloudsdale anthem.
I can't watch that scene. It's so upsetting. Like, I already hate him so much,
It's
and then
so
he does that,
cringe.
and then he does that. Just like, why are you so stupid? Stop.
I mean, I
I
know it
think the
was
thing with
written to be
Spike is
cringy.
I think the thing with Spike is just that he's a kid in a show full of adults. And like he's stupid sometimes because he's a fucking kid.
So, what are the ages of the ponies? Let's start there.
I always well in the early days of the fandom we interpreted every season is a year and that was later contradicted.
Mhm.
Um so uh then I kind of interpreted the characters as being in the range of like 20 to maybe like 24 or so, and then they just
College-age kids.
gradually they just gradually aged up. I don't know what the fuck they're supposed to be now. Like, they did a lot of weird shit with the show being like Twilight's whole first from from episode one to current to being a princess was like a year or something like that.
Yes.
And that's stupid to me, to be honest. But
Mm.
yeah, so I don't know what the fuck they're supposed to be. I think that they definitely felt in their 20s everyone was still getting established with their careers and what they were doing with themselves. And later on, I could see if you ignore the actual chronology of the show, I could see arguing that okay, maybe they're in their 30s when they start like actually like figuring shit out.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, Spike is literally described as a baby dragon in the early seasons. So for him, I interpreted him being, I know they mean baby relative to being a dragon, but I interpreted him being pretty young. He's meant to be like the little brother stand-in for what a lot of the target audience would have maybe have a little brother, and he's meant to kind of be the stand-in for that. So
Mhm.
That is fair. Also, a very well thought out answer. We were looking for legal.
All right. So on to a fun question, like a really fun question. If
Oh
you
no.
could start an interstellar war between any two factions from any universe or universes, who would they be and why?
I'm gonna say the fluffy ponies and the Anon question face guy and wherever he comes from, so that they can just wipe each other out and I don't have to think about them anymore.
So what I'm hearing is a non-pencil fights the fluffy ponies, which I'm here for.
A non-pencil is cool because you don't have a question mark for a face. I just I,
Aw, that's what you think.
No,
I
she's
don't
always
like the
questioning everything.
oh, that's fair. You know, that's perfectly fine. But yeah, I don't like the a non-question face question mark face guy at all. I'm like he's supposed to be a stand-in for the audience and I don't
Well,
like
not
that.
necessarily. I've talked about this at length, so I'm not going to get into it again, but there are many purposes for using in a non-character that don't necessarily involve audience replacement.
It's true. Pencil and I have literally gone across the United States talking about this character.
Not
I
that I'm
like
defending it. Everyone's allowed to hate whatever they want to hate. Hate is
True.
great.
I like that Anon is all passionate about this and Priest is just like, yeah, it's
No,
true.
I mean, it's one of those fucking things. Like, you can only, like, talking about Anon to, whether it's slash MLP, fan fiction, or whatever, you can only say the same thing so many times before it feels like you're kind of talking to a wall. So I can be like, oh yeah, no, like, we write, like, Anon as a way to, like, we write them as purposely nondescript as possible and give them as bland as characters as possible so that way people can, like, insert themselves in. And
Giggity.
there's some ways that you can't get around it. Like sometimes they're inherently male because they have a penis and are having sex with a pony, or whatever way you want to look at it, or they're male presenting. Um, trying to be careful here, but like at the end of the day, the more generic you can make it, the better. And then there are some people that's just like, I'm gonna make this guy the biggest asshole. And you know you can still do that because you know what, you can do the same thing where it's like all of a sudden I read my good fair share of like Fluttershy stories where it's goth Fluttershy and she cuts herself and it doesn't matter how out of character it is because it's my story and it's my Fluttershy. And like, write whatever you want, man. Like, just have fun. Just do what you want. Have fun. Do what you like. I'm off the podium. I'm done.
Rev, my dear, my sweet, let's get back to
Mm.
your questions.
All right. So on to another distressing question. If dick cheese could be blocked and sliced for sandwiches, how much vaginal marinara would we need to spread on an avocado toast to make a fuck trophy? A flushed constellation prize is acceptable too.
Well, as the only group of questions that I didn't read before coming into this, I wasn't prepared for this one.
Happy to help.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna go ahead and say, how much vaginal marinara would we need? However much you want, like, whatever floats your boat. Whatever ooze your woo.
Whatever ooze your woo.
Whatever ooze your woo.
Priest, did
Depends
you
on
miss it when I made?
how much how much ooze is that?
Priest, did you miss when I made this joke earlier?
Yes.
God damn it! I thought I was clever.
It's clever as fuck. Oh, I want that to be the BabsCon meme.
Whatever ooze your woo.
I mean, we can definitely make it the con meme. That's for damn sure. Didn't we make the which song was it? The Somebody song?
All Star by Smash Mouth. That was a meme for a while. Yes,
Yeah.
That's always a meme, though. That's never not a meme.
but we will
Well, I mean,
discuss
didn't we
such
kind of
things.
start it at a con, or was that
No,
already
no,
going?
we cannot take credit for that one, Rap. I'd love to, but we can't take
Ah,
credit for that one.
okay. I wasn't sure. All right. So on to the next question. Do you pronounce your name like the crocodile hunter uses exclamations, or like his wife using those exclamations?
um, well, good question. I would say it's context sensitive.
Hmm.
You know,
As in
sometimes it's
regional, or
well, uh, I mean, as we established earlier, it's Krickis, not Krickis. So it's not like exactly the crocodile hunter exclamation. But sometimes it's just like sometimes you're just like, oh shit, I didn't do that thing earlier. Krickis, damn it. Um, sometimes it's sometimes you wrote something really good and it's like, ah, yes. So I don't refer to myself in the third person particularly, but if I did, it would be dependent on how happy I was with myself.
A whole
alrighty.
spectrum of Krickis.
Oh yeah.
Well, this next one, along with the others, has definitely prepared you for your Vylon questions. You're trapped in a room with 10,000 dicks. How many are you choking on?
Hmm. I don't think I have a choice. Like, this doesn't sound like I choose how many dicks I choke on. I'm in there with like 10,000 of the fuckers.
Well,
Like, it's just gonna happen.
Hmm. The joke fell flat. Okay, got it. Priest, it is
hey,
back to you.
priest,
All right, back to me.
priest,
And that
priest,
what?
priest.
Am I muted?
There's lots of questions from the chat
Okay,
behind the
let's
counter, and
pull them.
also you have to refresh because there's even more questions in the thread. And Muggany posted their questions. There's lots of questions.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Then let's go. Let's go. Let's start by catching up on chat because they're patient little bunnies and I love them. Kung XL asks, "What is your favorite parent in MLP? We don't see enough of those."
Um, my favorite parent in MLP, uh, probably Pear Butter, but
Aw.
kind of also Twilight Velvet. Not Twilight Velvet, um, as she was in the show, which was also greatly enjoyable, but just Twilight Velvet as a almost OC because I was writing her before she had any characterization in the show, before she had any speaking lines in the show, and so were many other people. And it was always very interesting to me to see Twilight's like upbringing and what resulted in her being who she is, and um not a, I'm a sucker for a good Twilight Velvet story.
Very fair. Next question is: will we ever see more of Palm Palette and Rarity?
Um oh Map palette, I'm assuming, is what was meant. Map palette was that was a that was a one shot I wrote to impress a girl I wanted to date, and we did date, and then the relationship went nowhere, and we broke up sometime there. No, wait, no, we never actually broke up. We
Oh,
just stopped talking.
Oh
Jesus fucking
no!
Christ. Okay.
Yeah, that's how that relationship went. Um, so on that note, it was a fic about Rarity being trans, and she was her like dead name was Map Palette, and it's about her finding herself. So she's referred to as Map Palette throughout the whole fic until at the end it's Rarity. And I did intend to write a sequel to that I just never did because the relationship kind of fell short.
Right. Yeah, I can understand that when you have a story that's attached to in real life inspirations and they don't pan out in the way that you expect, it can definitely hamper that creative energy.
Yeah.
Cyberdrake has some questions now. Would you hug an original style changeling?
Yeah, hell yeah. Let's do it.
Would you hug a Celis?
Absolutely.
Would you hug a Bat Pony?
We're gonna sense a pattern here, and yes, I fucking would.
Would you hug Nyx?
Nyx is the character from Past Sins, right?
That is
Yeah.
correct.
I've never read that story, but I'm gonna assume yes, because if you haven't guessed by now, I'll hug most things.
That's a good quote out of context.
And now I shortchanged Flam earlier by giving him a person with only one question. Why doesn't our strongest member of the cast, Flam, take the world's strongest writer, Shakespeare Cleese questions?
Sure. With the strongest possible question here, with far reaching implications. Wiping, sitting or standing?
um, I'm gonna go with sitting, like a normal fucking person.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You know the fun part is if you ask this with a bunch of people, they don't know that the other exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, I certainly did until someone was like, "Of course, this is how I do it." I'm like,
Enigma.
"Whoo!" God.
So we didn't have a colossal argument there. Perfect. All right. Moving on. And anyone who does it standing in the chat, fuck you.
I mean, I'm
So,
not in the chat, but you have to pay me for that.
no.
Just no.
So this tiny bunny with the giant rabbit girlfriend is to scale for you?
um, but
I think that's actually kind of cute, and I don't tend to think rabbits are that adorable, but that's actually pretty fucking adorable.
It's very
yeah,
adorable.
yeah, that tiny bunny is goals.
I love the art that's been drawn of them.
There's
The,
art.
the whole yes, the wholesome art. There is other very much unwholesome art.
It's
Of
not
course
all
there
wholesome
is.
art. It's not all wholesome art, but a lot of it is very wholesome.
Yes, it is.
BRB googling.
Some Roger Rabbit, Jessica Rabbit vibes.
It's some of it is so genuinely just wholesome and nice.
Yeah. And then you
And
see the last panel of the comic.
well, the photos of them are just like really cute too. Like I can talk a lot of shit about wholesome art, but God, it's hard to hate.
Agreed. So,
I,
and
I,
that's all. What were you saying?
I will post my favorite.
There you go. Well, that's all. That's all
Yes.
Jake said, and perfect.
Yeah. There's a couple more questions in chat for you to finish up there, though. The priest.
What though? I'm looking through behind the counter.
Refresh the thread.
F5.
Oh. Okay. Major Techie is back with one more. If you were to take over the world, how would you do it? When? And with whom?
Brain chips to make everyone think that rabbits are adorable on the 27th of November 2026, and with the rabbits. This has all been established, Tacky. Come on.
Yes.
Tell me about the rabbits, George.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Oh my god!
No, Flam,
Oh
that's
my
not.
god!
Flam, that's not. It's not
Wrong.
kosher, Flam.
Wrong time. Wrong time.
Okay.
Wrong rabbits.
All right. And then next is from Adam Smash, who asks, "We've had favorite princess and parrot pony. So who's your favorite foal to write about?"
Well, I'm gonna have to say, my favorite foal to write I really like all the foals, first off. My favorite is my OC, but that's not a terribly interesting answer because you have to know my OC to care about that. So out of the canon characters, it's Flurry Heart. I actually just earlier today reread a story I wrote starring Flurry Heart, and it was a ton of fun, and I look forward to writing her a lot more.
Awesome. And then the Dark Prep has a question. Looking Glass printed version when?
Um, Soon, TM. I won't even say soon, TM. I'll say eventually, TM. That's been in the works for I don't even know how long. It's just hitting a lot of roadblocks.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed. So with that in mind, I think that is the
No,
last.
no. Muggany did questions. I mentioned it. As you scroll back up.
Thank you for keeping me honest. There we go. Okay. Here we go. Number one. What is your favorite non-pony character from MLP?
Um, ah, probably Ocellus. Ocellus
Ocellus.
is best bug.
Ocellus is a very good bug indeed. Number two. What is your favorite day of the week?
Uh, Fridays, because it's my only guaranteed day off, I guess.
That ties in well. Number three. Are you free that day?
Generally,
Now they
yes.
know. Now they know that you're free. They can't back out now.
Yeah, I can't avoid that now.
And number four is, well, why not?
Um, hmm, why not? I don't have
And
anything interesting for this one.
and number five is, can't you make yourself free?
Uh, well, I guess I could, but I just
And,
got so much to do.
and number six is, can't you do this for me this once?
Fine, this once I will make myself free.
And
There.
number seven is, I haven't seen you in 10 years, Jeff. Your sister hasn't seen you in 10 years. Your own mother hasn't seen you in 10 years. You missed your own father's funeral. Why can't you let your family get close to you, Jeff?
Okay.
I'm ready to look. I'm sorry, I'm snapped. It's been a long day. I'm just tired.
That's not even a question.
Number nine is, I gotta go. It's a long drive back to Arkansas. Can you do me a favor and call mom? She worries about you. She doesn't like that little stripper adventure you went on.
Well, I think that mom needs to accept my stripper adventure. It's part of who I am.
I think everyone has a little bit of a stripper adventure inside them.
I would agree.
Number 10. Before I go, I have one more question to ask you. Can I ask it?
Please do.
Number 11 is how your day.
Ah, I mean, my day literally just started. I woke up for this podcast, so going pretty good.
Heck yeah, off to a great start. And now I'm going to scroll down and hit refresh. Oh, and Shakes has shared with you their favorite flurry pick.
That is a good flurry pick.
It's a great flurry pick. One of my personal favorites.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's not a phase mom. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay. So, with all the questions taken care of, do we have anything else?
No, I think you got it right this time.
Yay!
I think we did it. We got to all the questions today.
We did it. Well, Krickis, we'll begin the closing out phase here, even though we haven't hit the full 2 hours. So, if there's any parting words that you would like to have for the listeners, any final tidbits, words of wisdom, what would it be?
Just remember that there's nothing happening on the 27th of November, 2026. It's a normal day. Just if you see an excess amount of rabbits, just accept it and go along with it.
That's
Gonna tell
good
my
too.
friend about the rabbits.
Is your friend's name George? Flam?
No.
What are the next things that we can expect from you, Krickis? What writing is in the hopper?
I'm currently working on an original novel. Um, I It's going very slowly, so I can't say that'll be the next thing because I keep getting other ideas. But I'm depending on how the rest of the season of the Owl House goes, I have an idea for a Owl House story.
Ooh,
So that might end up being the next thing that people can expect to see from me publicly.
very exciting. And then if someone catches this on YouTube or etc. and would like to reach out to ask the incredibly popular Krickis a question, what's the best way they can reach you?
Um, Fanfiction, Tumblr, Smoke Signal, Discord, whatever have you.
There
I'm
you go.
Krickis on pretty much everything.
So
Krickis, bitch. Sorry.
light them smoke signals. It's time to call it a night. Krickis, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This has been fun.
And
Well,
special thank you to Nyla and Hat Vandamoose and Shakespeare, please, for being our top donators to Horse Charity today. Thank you, guys.
and of course, Milk, what are we doing next week?
Another interview with somebody else that I need to go and talk to.
Get
Ooh, exciting.
excited. Even we don't know yet. It could be anyone. It
It
could
could
be
be
you.
you. Yeah, the priest and
Let's
I both went to the same space there. We both went to the same exact idea.
let's be real. It's probably not you, but it could
Yeah,
be.
no.
So let that keep you up at night. So this has been our special edition of the Barcast. Your bartenders for this evening have been a non-pencil,
Fluffy ponies. Remember it.
Flam and a Warfer,
Tell me about the rabbits, George.
Milk,
The whiskey is starting to hurt.
Ravage.
Is
God,
I got
Rav
nothing.
dead again? Rav, are you dead again?
No, I'm here. I got nothing.
Oh, okay.
our amazing guest Krickis.
Howdy.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Bye.
Go get
Go
drunk. It's the
away.
weekend. Woo!
I need